Back when I wrote this book, I think in 2005, you know what a top-of-the-line Ranger bass boat cost? Good morning, guys and girls. Cold, 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 cold. October 26, 1 Timothy 6:17. This is written by Paul to the young minister Timothy. 1 Timothy 6:17. Command those who are rich with things of this world not to be proud. Command those that are rich with things of this world not to be proud. Not to be proud. Fishing is a game that doesn't care who or what you are. To the fish, a person of privilege in a $40,000 Ranger bass boat is pretty much the same as a barefoot 10-year-old boy fishing off the bank. You hear that? A $40,000 Ranger bass boat. Top of the line Ranger right now is about $100,000. So a lot changed in 15 years, the price of bass boats. But a Ranger bass boat today is just absolutely amazing what it was compared to back in 2005. By the way, we was running 150 horsepower Mercury motors on those then, instead of 250 horsepower Mercury motors, big V8s like we run nowadays. So that's a part of it also. But $40,000. How many of you would give $40,000 for a brand new Ranger bass boat? Woohoo! I'd buy them by the dozen, turn around and sell them for 80 and double my money. Well, we'll not get into heaven because of our wealth or our poverty. God freely gives His grace to all. However, He does expect more out of those of us whom He has given more. You hear that? He does expect more out of those of us who He has given more. Many of us, He's given more than, well, as Charlie Evans says all the time, more than I deserve. And I think He's done that to most of us. He expects us to use these things of this world for the benefit of others. That's why we have so much, for the benefit of others. He expects us to use these things for the benefit of others. This includes tithing and much, much more. Tithing and offering, you know, I've always felt like was two different things. Tithing is the 10% that God commands that you give to the church. Offering is that amount above that 10% that you decide to free will give or freely offer to God. It includes using your talents, your property, your vehicles, your money, whatever God has given you. Our biggest trap is trusting in what God has given us rather than trusting in God. My buddy Jerry Cox, he always says that God is always asking us, do you trust me? Do you really trust me? Or do you trust in the things that God has given us? Trust in your bank account? Do you trust in your abilities? Do you trust in your good looks? Not me. I wouldn't do that. What do you trust in? Do you trust in your friends? Do you trust in your job? Do you trust in the government? Those are things that God has given us. We don't trust in those. We need to trust in God. The trap of trusting in what God has given us will always lead us into great danger. And it does that over and over, and usually when we fall into that trap, we then go to Almighty God and ask Him to get us out of that trap. Okay, here's our tip for this week. Shad will move to the very tail end of creeks in the fall. This is beginning to be wintertime right now, for sure, no doubt about it. This cold front we've got in here now is a booger bear. But the shad are moving to the tail ends. I fished 10-killer just here a while back, didn't have a really good day, but the shad were always showing up in the tail ends of the pockets. You know the drill. When the shad show up, the fish are going to show up after them. We caught white bass back in the ends of those pockets, but we just simply, the largemouth just either hadn't moved back in there yet, or that front that we were fishing after just killed the bite completely. I did talk to a guy that I recommended they go over to Beaver, solo canoe, went over to Beaver, and he caught like 75 to 100 bass just a few days ago. Had a rainy day, and they just tore them up. Just had a fantastic day. But if you'll concentrate on those tail ends in the fall, find the tail ends that's just thick with shad, and you're going to catch some bass. Spinner baits are a great choice. Topwater baits, buzz baits, all of those work really, really good. Obviously, a lipless crankbait or a mimic imitator will work good too. But the bass are going to be there. You'll see them. They'll show themselves to you. They'll be striking those shad around. When they do, that's where you want to be fishing. It's generally not schools back there. Even with white bass, it's generally not schools. It's individual fish back there feeding up for the wintertime. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one today. And remember, I love you.